tonight, bro. So
what you been watching, Solomon?
So, like I just finished up like over Thanksgiving break. I finished up like the Harry Potter series because I just go back to it the very first moment it gets like a little cold in California. I started doing it recently, but it's kind of
You watched the new movies, the Fantastic Beasts movies?
Yep. And they also just dropped The Secrets of Dumbledore.
The trailer,
yeah, or the other day. It's lit as fuck. I'm hyped. I want to know what Dumbledore's secrets are. I probably have an idea.
You really don't.
Yeah, well, we already know that he like swore to never fight Grindelwald. That was
that's his boyfriend. I'm serious, bro. I'm serious. I'm dead ass.
Oh, is that in the books?
Yeah.
Oh, so that's the secret?
Yeah.
Oh, what? Oh.
And is it,
bro?
Like,
hey, they got rid of him.
In a fucking PG-13 movie?
No, they make cartoons with that type of stuff in, bro.
I thought J.K. Rowling was like notoriously like anti-LGBTQ community though.
Maybe she's
Dumbledore was Dumbledore was gay. She said that.
No, I thought her comments was like more gender is aligned with sex, and then other. There's no nuance. I think that was kind of her stance, and that's why I think it was more with the transgender community where she kind of.
Oh, okay.
But you know, if you attack one letter, you attack all.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
You know
they clicked up for real.
Oh yeah, they for sure. No.
They was throwing bottles at the baby this weekend at Rolling Loud.
Oh really? Oh yeah. Shit.
They were throwing bottles, booing them up. Huh?
He did Rolling Loud.
He did Rolling Loud. They were throwing bottles and
like this weekend
in LA. Yeah. Yes.
Oh shit. Yes. He's back on the circuit. I did not know that.
And they did not. They was booing him.
Did he go off stage? Was it like bad for him?
It was pretty bad. I only saw like a clip of it, but I think he only like did like a short set.
Okay.
Damn. Yeah.
All right. But yeah, well, just to get back to the question at hand, outside of that, I just started watching Homeland, and I was suggested to rewatch Succession. Succession's like a show on HBO that I fell off. Good. Yeah, I heard it was good too, but I kind of fell off of it. I think I went like it was a stupid story, but like I went to Yosemite like in the middle of like season 1, and if you don't know what like Succession is about, it's essentially like the father of the family is like the owner of the 5th biggest like media conglomerate like internationally, and so they're just a super rich family, and it's just like the inner workings of how family keeps wealth within that bullshit. When I came back from Yosemite, I was like, I'm not really trying to see, you know, rich white people bicker amongst money as children as their father's dying. And so I stopped watching the show. But people have told me, because season 3 just finished, that it's worth the watch. So I might get back into that too.
Yeah, I've been hearing good things too.
What you been watching, Mike?
So I've been just watching Insecure with my girl, All American.
Those are shows
that's about it. Girl. Yeah. But yeah, like I had fallen off Insecure like probably around season 2. And then like I randomly thought of watching it again. So I restarted it, and now I'm all the way caught up. So it's almost over now. So 2 more episodes.
Bittersweet.
Yeah.
I've been watching. Oh, continue. What were you saying?
No. I was just gonna say I like those episode, like 30-minute episode shows. They're just quick and you can get through them real easy. But go ahead.
Mm-hmm. No, I was gonna say I've been watching Power, the Ghost. Man, it's getting too much, man. It's becoming like
it's too much.
No,
it's a real life soap opera at this point, bro.
What did Tariq do?
Tariq messed up, man. He messed up this time.
Did he go get like really the bad light skin, and then did he put her in like the wrong position? Like at like
not yet.
Oh, okay.
Like he said he's about to do that pretty soon.
Okay, for sure. You know, Tariq's about to have a bad light skin who's just like
he got one. He just got one.
And then she gonna be like,
you got Paige Hunter from Everybody Hates Chris. You remember her?
Oh shit!
Remember the girl from across the
Yo,
street?
and she's gonna be like, "Yo, I'm not just a pretty face." And Tariq's like, "I move 5 bricks for me," and she's gonna say yes with no prior experience.
No, this all right. Are y'all? Do you want me to ruin this show? Because this dude is crazy.
I'm safe. Like I'm gonna watch it.
This dude
I
is
finished
crazy.
season 1, but like I'm waiting for season 2 to get a couple episodes in before I dive in.
I'm not personally gonna watch it, but let's respect Mike's.
Yeah, he's high key one of the slimiest though on TV, Mike, for sure.
Yeah,
I love it. I love
one
it.
of the slimiest on TV.
That's fucking.
Does he at least own up to it? Does he like?
He on some fucking like ghost.
I think so. I mean, not to like his lawyers or like people.
Oh,
but,
okay.
like, to people who know what's up, then yeah, it's like
okay, for sure. That's good.
But you know what he did, right? At the end of Power.
Yeah, he shot his dad.
Yeah, shot his dad, right? So everybody knows. Like anybody who knows that, they're like cool with it because nobody likes his dad.
Yeah, for sure. The story writers made a good job in like making us hate ghosts.
Right, exactly. So that nobody cares that he's dead anymore.
Yeah, for sure.
But man, it's not a good show, but it's very entertaining. It's very dramatic and messy.
Yeah.
I guess I gotta start it.
No, hey, wait. Speaking of, before we get into the show, have y'all seen True Story? The Kevin Hart Netflix show where he's
no, I haven't.
Role. I'm not gonna lie, I spoiled it for myself. I'm not going to spoil it for the audience here, but all I did was see like the finale scene where he becomes like super badass, and I'm not gonna lie, it was one of the most fakest endings, like in terms of like an action scene I had ever seen in my life. And I was like, you know what? I don't think any character development will change my mind to make me think that this ending was going to be justified.
Yeah.
Everybody that I heard
I stood over.
Damn, now I want to see the ending.
Everybody I heard from told me that the character development was amazing. This was one of Kevin Hart's greatest roles, even though it wasn't a comedic role. It was a drama.
Mm-hmm.
But he just comes out on top, like
he becomes a badass. Like he's like he gets pushed around, he gets bullied, and now then he starts pushing other people around, putting his foot down, saying no.
No, and the thing is, it's actually Kevin Hart. Like, I mean, it's not Kevin Hart, but it's like him playing a comedian who's on tour, and so. Right. Like it's similar.
It's his like
It's Kevin
like the
Hart
beginning of his career, kind of like
there's some shit. Yeah.
It's like it's like a fan. It's like a dream he had one night.
Yeah,
it's like a dream.
All right, maybe I'll check it out though. Just
yeah, you should. You should.
One of my cousins was like in the mob, and like I was like I had to like step up and like take care of some debt that he had. Wouldn't that be crazy? I just had to just like do some crazy gangster shit one day. I was a comedian though.
Oh, shit. Is that really the premise? He has to pay back? Oh, okay. All right.
So, True Story on Netflix, starring Kevin Hart in a role that is not one where he is the butt of every joke. So, you know, if you want to check it out, check it out.
That's funny. I saw another good show on Netflix. It was called Hellbound. It's a Korean show. It's like Squid Game.
Okay.
But it's about this dude goes on he's like really depressed, so he goes into like the Gobi Desert, just wanders in the desert, and then he finds these 3 demons.
Oh shit.
He like accidentally unleashes these 3 demons, and basically what happens is when he goes back home, these like an angel or something, like this ghost comes and tells somebody you're gonna die on a specific day.
Tell somebody else, not the main character.
There's a whole bunch of main characters.
Oh, okay, my bad.
There's a whole bunch of main. It's like it's like a bunch of main characters. And
yeah, my bad. I was just gonna say, so one person released the demons, and the demons just went all over.
Right. And you're just learning from different people's perspective, like how this is affecting the world. because like demons, like or an angel will just show up, or I'm not they call it an angel, but it's really just like a creepy ghost thing. Shows up and tells you that you're about to die, and then like a week later, 10 weeks later, 20 weeks later, it's like that show Manifest, low key.
Okay.
I don't know if y'all seen that show.
I've not.
But it's like, yeah, people like some people tell you that you're about to die, and people start worshiping, this like this weird otherworldly thing that's happening.
Gotcha. Okay.
And it becomes crazy. It's like really dark and twisted, but like mentally.
I was just gonna ask how many seasons are there right now? Oh, available.
Just one. They just came out with the first season. But I think it got renewed.
Good show. It's good.
Yeah, pretty good show though.
I might check it out. I got 2 on deck though, so I might have to but it's holiday season, so it's kind of like the perfect time. So, when I'm at the house, there's not really much else to do outside of like eat food and watch TV. So.
Yeah, man, streaming content ain't really where it used to be, man.
I know, right? Like we don't have like those like home run hitters that we can rely on. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Nope.
Yeah,
like remember there was an era where we had like Breaking Bad and Game of Thrones like running at the same time. Like that was
people was in The Walking Dead and all that other shit.
Yeah, exactly. Walking Dead had a great fan base. It fell off, but it still had a great fan base. Like where is that current show with that really big fan base? And like, it might be Squid Games. Like it's a little early. But like outside of that, we haven't seen like that type of fanfare for like
I think we're in the age of, I think Netflix kind of ruined that, just of like dropping like entire seasons at once, and just like people don't like waiting a week to get their shows anymore. Like they just want to see it all at once and just binge watch, and with that comes like limited seasons, and like not like 8-season shows anymore, 8-10 seasons. Like
yeah,
like even with Succession, like it's about to end after 3 seasons, right? Like
it's going to end.
I thought that this was the last episode, or maybe not. Maybe I'm
season 3 finished at some.
Oh, okay, got it.
No, I was gonna say real shit though. A couple of months ago, when Power, Raising Kanan, and BMF was on at the same time, I was like, yo, it's
kind of dope.
This is kind of dope. Those shows is crazy.
It's kind of QC, but for TV shows.
It was low-key QC for TV shows. Yes. He's on some QC shit right now on some TV, because he's about to drop another one in January, another Power show.
That's what's up.
The one with Tommy, right?
Yep.
Show. The worlds are gonna link, bro. Just like the fucking the fucking Marvel universe.
Yeah, no, he created a TV universe for show. He's crazy for it.
It's so lit. It's actually super lit. 50 is gonna be like, this is like he definitely took it off a model, but he implemented it into a very new arena, and it's working, which is super, super dope. I was also gonna say, now that I noted it, I do know a certain type of show where the fanfare is off the charts though. Anime. Like,
anime. It'll always be like that.
Yeah, it was always like that, but like now it's becoming a little bit more mainstream. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the fanfare of like a lot of people kind of go that way. That I've seen.
Yeah, like with One Piece, like people are dedicated to that shit.
Bro. I know people watching 25, 30 episodes a week. Week, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Could be me.
Shit. I'm all the way caught up on One Piece.
Wait, what? Crazy. Like all 1,000 episodes?
Yep. I've seen every episode of that shit.
When did you start?
I mean, years ago.
Years ago, right?
Give the audience, just so like people who are in it, because you know what I'm saying? It's the trenches. So like if
Cartoon Network, that's when I started.
No, like 4Kids TV, like when I started, like
so you watched it back in the day.
I started on Saturdays, bro.
Like that's when that was my first exposure to it. Yeah, but then like I kind of fell off and then got back into it.
Did you start from the beginning though?
Yeah.
So when you started from the beginning as an adult, how long do you estimate that it took you to watch all of One Piece? And I know you probably had like your life.
It's decades. It's decades.
No, I'll say I probably like truly dedicated to watching it like your like senior year or like right after college. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's probably been about 5 years of.
5 years.
Yeah.
Y'all hear that? Y'all hear that, One Piece fans? It's 5 years.
Yeah.
Dedicated time.
But I would
did.
watch it, like I would fall off and like fall and then get back into it just so I could just watch like a bunch of episodes at once. But like now I'm all the way caught up and that shit sucks.
Can last that long on one storyline. I completely understand why you fell off from time to time. But shit. All right.
Y'all watch Naruto? No, I'm playing. Let's move on to the show. This is the Mostly Bullshit podcast.
I'm Mike.
I'm Brandon.
And I'm Solomon.
And when we get together when we can, no, I'm playing. We get together most weeks and we talk about sports, politics, life, the news, what's going on in tech, what's going on in finance, all that. But mostly we're just bullshitting. Every week we start with we each go through a topic and we start with Mike. Mike, what's your topic for this week?
Yeah, so a couple days ago, or maybe like last week, it was announced by Neuralink that in 2022 they are going to begin planting their human interface chip into some human brains to begin their clinical trials of the technology. For those of you who don't know what Neuralink is, essentially the initial goal of it is to help people with paralysis regain some of their independence by essentially using their minds to communicate with smart devices such as your phones, apps, websites, tablets, your computers, stuff like that. So essentially they can just think what they want to happen and it'll happen on their device. So they can send text messages, browse the web, even create art just from their minds. And so like this is like some crazy futuristic technology that I honestly wouldn't have thought was going to be within our lifetime, but it's here and it seems pretty crazy of the potential that it could lead to. Right now it's for people with paralysis, but eventually I'm sure it will expand into just everyday people, and the possibilities for it are endless, but also scary at the same time of essentially having your mind connected to a computer, which is like some crazy Black Mirror dystopian type shit.
I was gonna say, and likely the cloud.
Yeah. So like, yeah, like essentially like, and there's going to be even potential for like gaming with it. So this is where like it can communicate with the metaverse. And your ass could legit just fucking be in the metaverse, fucking
able-bodied and everything.
Close your minds and you're in.
Yeah.
Close your fucking eyes and you're in the metaverse. Like
that is crazy.
That's
awesome.
So like,
I don't think if you close your eyes though.
And you never know,
open
man.
your eyes and then you can control you can connect to the controls through your chip.
Yeah.
So you did mention, like, really quickly, you mentioned like current use is to help people who are paralyzed and or probably disabled of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
And did you mention that there's a potential for this to go into like fully healthy human beings?
Yeah, I mean that's the future goal of the company. But I mean that's probably like 10, 15 years down the line before something like that happens. Like I said, they're just beginning clinical trials next.
So this is more of a medical device then.
Yeah. That's what
it's starting out as.
It's labeled as a medical device company.
Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah,
it's gonna be interesting. It's because it's a really, like, I'm in the medical device field, like, for my occupation, and it's a really slow market in terms of like proof of concept. Like everything has to go through the FDA. But like it'll be interesting. Like it's gonna be like crazy to see like what can go wrong from something like that. You know what I'm saying? Because we've heard that there's been good results, but remember how like everyone freaked out when the first Tesla like crashed on autopilot?
Yeah.
I wonder what's gonna happen when like the first bad event happens with, because these are humans, you know what I'm saying? Like if but go ahead though.
Like a chip
Yeah, I
blows up
mean,
in somebody's head.
Or just
yeah,
like
that's instant death.
or hurts them more than they were like before. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
they like go through like electroshock therapy. I don't want like just out of nowhere.
Dog, I don't know. I don't know. Like it's
and then
like
like plus it's gonna take like some crazy brain surgery just to fucking attach it to your brain.
I'm
And
saying.
it's like, how do you charge it once it's on your brain? Like just,
I don't think it's that invasive. From what I think I've seen Elon Musk talk about it, and from what I remember, it's not that invasive, and all it does is allow your brain to communicate with the computer. I don't think it's like uploading whatever your whatever's inside your brain or like controlling your thoughts or anything like that. From what I've seen,
so
yeah. Or look it up, yeah.
so it says the link includes technical innovations for improving the safety of the surgical procedure compared to existing
Oh,
BMI devices or traditional neurosurgery.
I wish
So
I
I
had
mean,
Neuralink. I would just know this shit.
yeah, you
Yeah,
like that's
exactly.
it. You just see like like imagine like
I honestly think the reason why people like, because there is such a huge advantage to having, imagine thinking something and the Google search happens.
Right, no,
You
that's
know what I'm
crazy.
saying?
yeah,
Like
man, college is gonna be a breeze.
exactly.
People just-
School is out of here. School is out of here.
yeah.
It's bro, it's not
School is out of here.
going to matter how smart you are. Your brain is not like, your brain will matter for a physical function, almost like an arm or a leg, but it's not going to have real fucking use anymore. Like it's like we might actually, and the craziest thing is like this was kind of like projected in Wall-E in like a different sense where it was more to like gluttony, but like in this sense it's like we're going to be using our brains less and less because it will benefit us to use this, like theoretically, if it works on people.
I don't think we'll use our brains less. I think that's a fear that people have. I don't know if that's necessarily what's going to happen. What I think something that you said that was important is that people are going to do less mundane tasks, and so it's going to be less about memorization and redundancy and repetition, and more about how you can use these new tools to be more creative. So people are going to be, I think, trying to be more creative in utilizing these new tools in order to, because people are still going to have to be, they're still going to make a way. I don't care if you were rich or poor, somebody is going to figure out a way to make a way. So
yeah, and at the same time, like, so like I guess when it comes to like school and taking tests, like we would get note sheets and shit to like write down our equations. At the end of the day, like, you know, you can look up the equation, but you still need to know how to solve the problem.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think the Neuralink is going to be able to solve that for you. It may be able to tell you the equation you need.
Yes, it will, and I will
I
explain.
think it will. Yeah.
Mike, I will explain why. I literally witnessed this as I was on the train home with my 16-year-old cousin. He was in a group chat where, and man, I do not want to snitch on him like that, but his teachers are not likely going to find out. He has this app, and all this chip has to do is run this app, and all it does is show you the steps on how to complete math problems.
But that's like math. But what about like physics and engineering?
Yeah, no.
Like
he is like in like pre-calc. Like, so these are like certain types of functions that are abstract in nature.
It's algebra 2 though.
Huh?
Pre-calc
yeah, that's
like
what I'm saying. Like it'll yeah, like you'll be able to access like Wolfram Alpha and like it'll give you the step-by-step to solve a math problem. But like if you're presented with like a physics problem where they present you with certain pieces of information, and then your job is to figure out what equation do you need to use to apply to this problem, like it's not going to be able to necessarily solve that for you.
Well, no. All you have to do is just like, the thing is, most people will still know how to like set up like the formula. Like they might not know how to like break it out, but they'll know step number one. Like, and all you need to do is just set up step number 1 for it to complete steps 2 through 10. That's all you need to do. And like the whole difference is all you need to know is 10% of the problem. That's all you need to know.
If you have like a stored like knowledge base, you can store all that information somewhere.
But at the same time, like that's kind of how it is like in real life though. Like, you know, as long as I like, okay, I recognize I need to use this equation, like I have the ability to look it up and like look at examples.
It is like that in real life though, Mike. It's
It
just
is
that
like that
if you have it in your glasses, then you can cheat on every test.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. I'm saying like school is stupid in that way that like they force you to memorize like this step by step, when in reality, in the real world, you have the ability to look this stuff up with your job.
I tutor kids like every 6 months, like when I have like some time off of work with my schedule, and that's what I tell them, like straight up. I'm like, I know like teachers be on your ass about, you know, showing your work and all that shit, but the real world works like this. Like, use the tools that you have available to you, because that's how the real world works. I'm not gonna set you up so that people can make you feel bad about yourself and then turn around and you find out they're using a calculator their damn selves. So yeah, don't feel bad about that type of shit. Be resourceful, but don't get caught. No play.
Yeah, like
I don't encourage them to cheat. I just encourage them to just make sure they understand the problem.
Yeah, no, I mean we've already had this conversation about the education system could use some reform.
For sure, yeah.
On like what we teach our kids, but
right, but I think AR and like, you know, brain trips is gonna force the education system to change, because when the information is that accessible. I mean, I think, you know, having like a smartwatch is shit. I would, if I was in school, you know what I'm saying? If I was in high school and I had a smartwatch, come on now. Like,
yeah, just like the notes app on your phone.
Right,
on the smartwatch, just like, I'm just checking the time.
It's like, oh, I can't have my watch in class. Oh, what?
Right. Like, what? I can't tell the time. What if my grandma needs to text me? Like, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying?
I'm not allowed to have my phone out.
Right. But I'm just, you're gonna have like these Ray-Ban glasses that can record tests.
Niggas can have Apple Watches with the fucking AirPod. Just text. Nobody wouldn't even notice. Just tap. Hey, I'm just chilling.
You
but with Neuralink, you're just gonna be able to think it. You're just gonna be like,
yo, you can actually think it at this time. Yeah.
You're gonna have your homie across the class. You guys gonna have a private channel just talking to each other.
Yo, Discord gonna be shady, bro. The Discord,
they're gonna have to have like some frequency in the class.
The thought channel Discord is going to be shady. Dog,
like
yeah, you're right.
Blast.
It's like, hey y'all, can y'all set y'all chip frequencies to 627 gigahertz? Thank you.
Oh man, the future is gonna be crazy.
Like,
it's gonna be lit. Yeah, it is gonna be.
Come back in the walkie-talkies.
That's like 30, 40 years from now. I'm just saying, like right now, kids could buy those Ray-Ban glasses that just came out and take a picture of the answers and share them with everybody else.
just quick
tap, share all the answers with everybody in the class.
Hey, that's the drop. That's the iPhone. That's the cloud drop.
Say it. The airdrop, right? You can airdrop.
Yeah, airdrop. Yeah, exactly. That's what I meant.
Come on, man. All right, y'all done talking about that? Then?
Yeah, I'm good.
These kids got it good, man. Y'all kids.
Yeah, man.
Well, I don't understand why y'all so depressed all the time. Y'all got all this shit.
It's the overthinking. They have too much. So they think they overthink it. That's why.
Right.
Right, yeah, go ahead. My bad.
No, go. You had to say.
I was just gonna say, like, you know, if you get on a bike and fall on your knee, that's all you have to think about. My knee hurt. You know, if you have somebody on Instagram flaming you and you don't even know who the user account name is, you got a lot to think about at the end of the day. You might like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Kids get
There's some validity to that.
Kids get
introduced. There's no fixing that. There's no. There's nothing you can do about that. Yeah.
Kids have haters at too young of an age. Well,
yeah,
too many random haters.
Yeah, that sucks, man. They'll figure that out with the metaverse, I think. But let's go on to the next topic. I was going to talk about the concert that happened last Was it Friday?
Friday.
Friday?
Thursday night, December 8th.
Thursday night, right? Yeah. So there was a free Larry Hoover concert with Kanye and Drake. That was put on by Jay Prince, who is a Houston legend.
It was put on by both of them. Kanye West
I think
had to put it on.
I think Jay Prince. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, it just seemed like Jay Prince was more because he's the guy that he actually knows
he was
Larry
the
Hoover
one
personally.
Yeah, I was just making a silly comment.
Yeah, but I think it was a good concert. I definitely want to, make a point of understanding, like, the audience to understand, like, why they did the concert. Larry Hoover was a gang leader. I think the Gangster Disciples out in Chicago, and sold a lot of cocaine, but got a life sentence for his cocaine, for like getting caught selling cocaine, and that's like kind of like ridiculous to get a life sentence for doing that. So I think Trump last year had like a first step program that he implemented where people can look back at their sentences and try to get resentenced if they feel like they were unfairly sentenced. So they're trying to use that program to get Larry Hoover out of jail. They use the benefits from this concert to supposedly pay for his legal fees and making sure that happens. That was an admirable cause. I think he has like a foundation for other people who were wrongfully imprisoned for discriminate amount of times. So like, you want to definitely thank these guys for making this happen for a good cause. They definitely had some type of beef, and for them to put that aside to make sure that it happened not only for Larry Hoover and the foundation, but also for the fans of music.
Yeah.
To see that was I think a big moment in music. Kanye did an awesome job with the set design, in my opinion. Just everything he did to set it up, have Mike Dean doing guitar solos, a whole choir, live instrumentation, all that is just like Kanye's. To me, he showed why he was a GOAT. Played all of his hits, all of his classics, rapped them pretty well to start out. Obviously, it gets tired towards the end.
For sure, that's no problem.
It's a little muffled, right?
I don't mind that at all. He's
right.
Definitely, he was still flexing out. He was showing him, like, every Kanye fan wanted to hear that concert. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's nostalgic, it's reminiscent. It brings me back to so many good places and times. So fans.
So now. No, yeah. It was a great concert. If you're a Kanye fan, you were very pleased. But now let's get to Drake.
If you're a Drake fan, oh my God.
Because it was very interesting.
It was very interesting. Damn near felt like a setup. I don't know what this shit was.
I don't know what it was. I was like, why didn't he come with the same energy?
Like,
that was weird to me that he didn't come with the same energy and knew what was going on.
He knew.
And sort of just like, I'm just gonna do a cover of Bro's song, slap all my like most recent stuff.
Did you say CLB? He just slapped CLB.
Yeah, he just slapped CLB and did a cover of 24.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I'm trying to think. I don't really care, but I'm just trying to think of why he did it.
Yeah, what is this shit? I don't know.
I want to speculate, like, why did he do that? Why did he not take the challenge of putting his hits against Kanye's hits? Because he knew that people were going to compare. He knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, because the thing is, nobody actually knew how it was going to go down. Nobody knew actually Kanye was going to play all of his classics. Some people thought it was going to be a Donda CLB thing.
Which is fine too.
Because the only thing we heard that came out of it was Drake singing 24. That's all.
It makes sense for Kanye to not do that because he's already done 3 or 4 listening parties.
Yeah, exactly. No, but what I'm trying to say here is, like, we did not know what they were going to come with. And fucking Kanye, the way he comes out, people are starting to already think, holy shit, this might be the greatest verses of all time, and we just didn't know it. Because this wasn't exactly, this was definitely a possibility.
Right.
It's literally in chronological order playing the best of his best songs throughout his albums.
Right. That's what I thought when I turned it on. I didn't even realize. I saw it after it already premiered, and I turned it on. I'm watching Kanye just go through the hits. I'm like, oh man, this is about to be one of the most legendary things of all time. Like, I'm about to watch Drake trying to go up against this. This is gonna be amazing.
Well, see, maybe Drake didn't want the smoke, and that's why he fucking.
I don't
think it's that crazy. I think
because I know Drake wants the smoke. We all know Drake wants the smoke. It cannot be that.
I don't think he would have got smoked like that, Mike.
He would not have. We know that. His
shit would have lost.
Kanye,
in my opinion, he would have lost.
I think Drake would have lost.
I don't.
But it would have been respected.
Yeah, I don't want to actually get into who would be better. I just don't think that's Drake's reasoning. I don't think Drake thinks like. You have to just know Drake is still the number one selling. Like he's not going to think he's going to get washed by Kanye. Like he's Drake. Like I don't.
Well, maybe in an attempt to like squash their beef, because they knew people were going to compare. So like maybe in an attempt to squash the beef, like Drake just said, "All right, I'm gonna let Kanye shine, and I'm gonna just do."
Did he squash the beef because his first song after he did the 24 cover was "No Friends in the Industry"?
Oh, I didn't even see it. Like I didn't even.
No, I haven't even seen it. Yeah, so
he did the 24 hours cover, which was crazy. He did an amazing job.
I mean, just because he says no friends in the industry doesn't just because you're not somebody's friend don't mean you're not cool with them though. Like, I mean, just like you can't coexist.
No, I mean,
like you just
Drake is Kanye's son though, well, sonically though. So like, I don't think they really have like. It might be on some like, yeah, I can't overstep the master on some real shit. Like on some like 48 Laws of Power type shit.
Or maybe Kanye pulled the power move. Like maybe like the original agreement was like Drake wasn't expecting Kanye to do all that.
I think they rehearsed all that. No.
Yeah, it's just hard.
That's too much money, bro.
It's hard for me to. It's also hard for me to kind of understand where they're coming from too. I'm gonna leave it like that. Yeah, but all I'm saying is what my feelings were, and like to be full disclosure, I was actually at a different concert. I was at the Larry June concert in the city, looking at my phone because one of my friends was actually texting me the live, like the play-by-play, like what song was being played next, and I was just like. Halfway through Kanye's set, I almost regretted going to the Larry June concert because I copped the tickets like 3 months ago.
It was recorded, Solomon.
I know, but it was just like it's a live. It's like it's something you want to be there for in terms of like the live event. I don't know.
If I was there physically, yeah. But
yeah.
No, virtually, no, I don't really. No.
I got
Personally,
it. I got it. It was still crazy, but then I saw the shit happen. I literally had to stop looking at my phone halfway through the Drake set because it was just like,
yeah, man. I feel like he did that 48 Laws of Power shit where you don't overstep the master, and he understood it. Like, yo, like a lot of what I do is inspired by this dude, so people are gonna like see that.
Mm-hmm.
And so let me just let this dude have his shine. And then he also what he does in that move too is he says like I'm younger than Kanye, like I'm still putting out music. Like Kanye is on his greatest hits type shit. I'm on my
this is me
like
now.
This is me right now.
Donda was still lit though.
It really was because that 24 hours, I was like, I mean, Drake did a really good rendition of it.
Yeah, I liked it.
When you listen to some of those songs and you listen to like the real like musicianship behind what Kanye did with Donda, and you're like, damn, like this is like different.
Yeah, it's definitely.
This is like what you expect from Kendrick when he finally decides to drop. In terms of production.
I mean, he was experimental. He was extremely experimental in terms of the way like he tried to put some of the hooks together. Some of the underlying beats, it was nice. It was like it's actually a really nice listen all the way through. I mean, I'm just not like me personally. I'm not the biggest like fan of like putting like the part ones and the part twos, which is essentially the same beat. Like, you know, I'm okay with like it doesn't have to be like that, but because like
I think there's some verses like he was just like, I don't want to put out a 5-minute song, but I don't want
yeah,
to cut this
yeah,
person's
exactly.
verse.
He wants it the commercial length,
Right.
and so he splits
Yeah.
it up. And I don't mind it. I was,
Mhm.
I just sonically, I have like I don't like hearing the same song twice. Like if I'm
I
going
think the part 2 is more like bonus tracks.
true.
I think the album was over after I think 24 was the last song.
Yeah, but I'm still gonna download the book. Yeah, I know.
Jesus Lord or something.
No, part 2 was on it. Wasn't Junta part 2?
There's part 2s to a whole bunch of different songs at the end of the album.
Oh, is it all at the end? Gotcha.
Yeah, they're all at the end.
For
Mhm.
sure.
So I think technically the album was already over when those songs started.
Gotcha. You're right. It's because I'm listening to the deluxe.
Mhm.
But yeah. But it's great shit. It's great shit all around. But yeah, it's gonna be weird. Let's see what the next big move is when we see them together, like publicly, to see how they
I think
interact.
it was at Rolling Loud.
Oh, they were both at Rolling Loud?
No, just Kanye. Future brought out Kanye at Rolling Loud.
Future brought out Kanye. How many
Yeah.
collabs do they have together? Like I feel like I can count them on one hand.
Future's a goat, but
I know. I think that's literally just why Kanye did it. Because you heard what he said about Future on Drink Champs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He listened to what Andre 3000 said about Future.
Yeah. For sure. Like he that was like, just for those who don't know, like I don't like whatever highest amount of praise you can give an artist, Kanye gave that to Future on the Drink Champs interview. He very much supported his path, his originality, his ingenuity. He definitely gave him the whole 9 yards about how he felt with Future.
Yeah.
Future's goated.
Goated. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yep. Because if you really think about Way Too Sexy and Life Is Good, those are Future songs. Those aren't even Drake songs. No.
It's definitely Magic City on a Monday. It's not I don't know, whatever. It's not TSU. You know what I'm saying? That's the Drake song.
He
know what they sound
performed
like.
TSU.
Huh?
He performed. I'm saying Drake didn't even perform to showcase CLB. He didn't even perform TSU.
I know. Goodness fucking gracious. That made me. I mean, I feel like he's gonna do that. Like that's the one he can sit on, and then just like have like the movie production shit for that. But
He might not, because it leaked. He might not really.
yeah, I know. We had CDQ a minute ago. We had CDQ back in like April. We had CDQ for that shit. Like I remember you were at the crib when I played it out loud.
I honestly think Drake got some shit tucked for Kendrick, but let me see. We'll see.
We will.
I really think, because once Kendrick drops, then people are gonna look at Drake crazy. So yeah, I think he got some shit tucked for that.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see how Kendrick goes out because it's his last album. I think he's gonna go out more amicably than disruptive.
Because people are trying to kill. I think people in the industry are trying to kill Drake. Not kill Drake. Like he really talks. I think he's really like serious when he's like, people are trying to destroy me. Like they don't want me to be famous anymore.
Yeah.
I think they're really outproduced.
I can see that. It's like it's time. He's low key a little dictator on the hip hop throne. He's not passing it off. He's not really letting a little baby take the reins. He's kind of just like, yeah, you can be one B. I'm gonna be one
little
A.
baby.
You know what I'm saying?
Like that's why you don't get on songs with Drake.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He's gonna try to sun you. He's gonna try his best.
But Baby's held his own. Baby's held his own every time they
oh my god,
kind of can't come together. So
yeah, no, I have a lot of respect for Lil Baby. He's a really smart dude.
For sure.
But yeah, let's go to the last topic. What's your topic, man?
Yeah, it's a recurring theme. As we are all still somewhat at home, somewhat not. The Omicron variant has kind of spread through.
Omarion?
Huh?
Omarion?
Omarion.
Omarion variant.
However you want to see it, bro. It's another variant. It might have it. Yeah, it's probably the R&B version of of COVID. And it's shaking and moving. You know what I'm saying?
Quiet storm.
Yeah. But regardless of that, to respond to the surges, a lot of major cities are responding by having an indoor mask mandate, as well as the entire state of California as of, I believe, tomorrow. I yeah, I
December
believe it's
14th
tomorrow.
for
Huh?
those listening. December
Yeah,
14th
December
for those
14th. Yeah,
listening.
December
Yeah.
14th. As of December
Y'all know
14th, all indoor masks. I mean, all indoor locations will require you to wear a mask if you want to, I guess, be in a club, go to a restaurant, go to a, a basketball game, because you can still go to a football game.
Oh, there's a mask mandate indoors at basketball games.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, anywhere indoors in California.
Anywhere indoors in California. If it has,
I didn't even know about this new mask mandate, so you actually brought this news to me.
Well, I literally like every week I low key have a topic within the 30 minutes that leads up to the podcast, and one of the things I scrolled by was that. So it was good for me to know too. But it's actually, I guess, somewhat important. Like, we are responding, I guess, a bit more quickly than most would assume. There haven't been too many confirmed cases in this area. However, there have been surges in some of the locations where there haven't been as many COVID vaccinations, but there is like surges in New York. I think I heard in Texas as well, and in some places in the Midwest, there are a couple surges. So I believe some of the, the governors and the local kind of municipalities are attempting to address that via the mask mandate. And so I'm just going to ask you guys, do you guys think it's effective, having a mask mandate? Do you think people are going to do what they want, like regardless of a mask mandate or not? Because we all still kind of have to live and operate. And theoretically, about, it's not half of America, but let's say about safely a third of America kind of does not want to
wear masks.
Yeah. And so, like, how do we function? Like that's like, is it truly going to be effective, or is it just going to create more
it's just how are you going to enforce it?
Yeah, and it's just people that are enforcing it. And
yeah, it's like it's honor system, and we've seen over the past 2 years like that it doesn't exist. So like, we can put on these mask mandates, but unless there's like real repercussions for not wearing a mask, then people aren't going to wear it, and Omarion's going to spread like crazy.
Just like Champion, just like Fila, all the 2000s just about to make a comeback, bro. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But it's crazy because, I mean, you got to think, like, the only reason we're able to do that is because we live in America. Like, if you look at like a lot of European countries, they're having straight up riots because no matter where you live in the country, like, it's when they put it in a mandate, it affects everyone within the country. It's not just like, oh, this, like, this is cool over here and this is not cool over there, like how it is out here. Or even if they put a mask mandate in all of California, I'm sure there's some cities and counties and municipalities, like, neighborhoods that won't really care about a mask mandate.
Yeah. There definitely will be some like local governors or like not, or just mayors who will be like, I know what the governor said, just know that I don't give a fuck. So if somebody comes to you, tell them to come to me.
Right.
It's done. And I'm assuming that's like a lot of the middle of California. I think that's
right. There's just a lot of lawyers, that know how to finesse the system. How to finesse this current political system that we live in. Yeah. Is it a good thing? Maybe. Is it a bad thing? Maybe. It's just, it is what it is.
Yeah, and I think like at this point, people are just so over wearing masks that like to have another mask mandate it's just too much. Like we fucked up in the beginning of COVID, and like I just don't see any way that we can truly get this under control at this point.
Other than herd immunity, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the only way at this point. It has been, honestly, I always felt that was the only way because how people think in this country.
But there really, with the virus like this, there really is no such thing as herd immunity because because of how, because it's gonna be like the flu in that it's gonna continue to mutate. So we're not gonna be like, no one's ever immune to the flu. Like, we got to get shots for it every year, or
So
you
just
just
the
go
flu.
ahead and get it. No, I'm not saying it's a deadlier flu, essentially, in that
It's the
like
new flu.
In terms of like the cycle, in terms of the cycle.
But I'm just saying we're
terms-
never getting rid of it.
Yeah, we're never getting rid of it. Like
Yeah,
it's
No,
going to
we're
be
not getting
around
rid of it.
forever.
It's a
Yeah.
flu.
It's going to be forever.
It's the flu. It's the new flu.
Well, we'll have to treat it like that. Like, I know that there was like in like 2020, like a lot of people get sensitive about it because Donald Trump called it the flu. But like, now that we're actually looking at the strategy that we have to take as a human population, yes, it is actually like the flu. We're going to have to likely be vaccinated. We'll likely have to be a bit more diligent about the vaccinations early on, just because like we don't know like if the like new variants are going to be like less deadlier over time. That is something we are not able to determine right now. Honestly, with Delta and Omicron, I actually don't know what the public stance was of on A, is it easier to transmit, or B, is it deadlier? I actually don't think that information has been.
So I think they said that Delta was a lot more transmissible. So it's a lot more contagious. As far as being more deadly, I haven't seen any numbers about that. It's probably just because the vaccines were effective against Delta. We don't know if vaccines are effective against Omicron.
But like with the boost, like that's the thing. Like like we're always theoretically like, are we always going to be one behind?
Yeah, bro. It's like of course you are, Solomon. Like it's really at this point it's become marketing at this point.
But like, but the problem with COVID though is like, here's where it differs from the flu. Like, this shit can be all year round. Like, the flu comes at a season. Like, this shit is just here, no matter like, what season it is.
And my question is, Mike, and I will be taking the Delta booster. I need to actually like get it as soon as possible.
I took the booster.
But it begs the question. The Omicron variant is spreading rapidly, and it is becoming the more dominant strain. It's going to become the more dominant. I'm not exactly like, I don't want to speak to like the numbers and like the percentage of Delta versus Omicron, but what we know from the spreading of the variant, it's the Omicron is getting more and more of a percentage of the COVID vaccine cases. If that is the case, and our doctors are still kind of asking us to take the Delta booster, what like is there like a benefit to it? Like we have the recommendations, we like from the CDC to say yes, it is still beneficial to take the Delta booster, and which is like the sentiments of the medical community is to still take that. But theoretically, we like if this booster is meant to address a variant that is supposed to be the cousin of the variant that is the most that is becoming the more widespread variant. How
effective will the vaccine be against?
Yeah, exactly. And like to speak to Brandon's point in terms of the marketing, if we're always going to like, this is kind of like a marketing audience. Like, we are the audience that we have to take the vaccine to address our immunity to COVID. By the time the clinical trials come out and the updates are made, is it still going to be effective against the variant that is currently the most like widespread in my area?
Well, that's what they have to do the study for. Like, there's not enough information yet.
Yeah, go ahead, Brandon. Sorry, I took over the mic a little bit.
Is that if they say that people need to have a booster shot in order to keep their jobs, like they did with the vaccine itself, I think shit's gonna go down.
Yeah,
I can actually see
that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's all I gotta say about it.
I mean, shit is already.
If you feel comfortable, take it.
Shit is already kind of going down though. like as it relates to like the workplace and like COVID vaccinations. I know
I mean, yeah, it already went down, but I'm just saying if they require boosters on top of that, then I think it's gonna be.
I
think
that.
that's crazy.
Yeah, and so I mean, it just begs a question. I don't want to like stir doubts, and there probably should be like some COVID. You know how on Instagram if you post anything related to COVID, there's like something at the bottom of your Instagram story that says like
they scan pictures.
Huh?
I think it's just the text.
Instagram scans.
Oh yeah, exactly. We should probably have one of those. You know what I'm saying? You should just be research about, research COVID, research kind of what experts are saying as what to do. We are not experts. We're just mostly bullshitting. And I kind of want to preface it with that.
Yeah. No, I think, make your own decisions. Look up, do the research and deal with the consequences of your decisions.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
That's the bottom line. Just don't complain later on. Man.
Yep.
Yeah, I do think that, this is just going to be something that we just ultimately deal with for the rest of our lives until fucking we evolve past it. Essentially, exactly. Like that's all it's going to be. Like our immune systems are going to have to adapt and like figure it out. Like,
isn't that
for example, I think it's not just going to be theoretically maybe, but herd immunity only applies if like people, like if there are just people who are naturally like strong against COVID. Like, for example, my girl, like she has never got COVID, even though I had it. And like, I was right next to her. Like her immune system is just spectacular somehow.
Right.
Like, but like if, that's what I mean by like, that's evolution. Like, so she would pass her strong immune system
to your
down
kids.
to the kids.
Your immune
and then
system
like,
is about to go down the dump.
Yeah.
You gotta say rest in peace to that immune system, bro.
But so people with like weaker immune systems are just eventually like,
that's hilarious.
Like they need to stay on top of the vaccine.
Yeah, there's like
to each his own. Like if you know that about yourself, then for sure. Like if you're immune compromised, then you definitely would want to stay up on that. But if you're not immune compromised, and then they're mandating you to be vaccinated to, do things like work to make money, that's a little extreme. I mean, they already went to that extreme. To like for the most part.
Vaccine, it's not new requiring vaccines though, Brandon. Like people have been required to get vaccines for like a bunch of shit. Like the measles and the fucking like you're required at birth to get that shit. Like
no cap, Mike. But I'm just saying if COVID becomes like the flu, where its death rate becomes like the flu and its contagion rate becomes like the flu.
Oh, yeah.
If its death rate is like the flu, then no
and its symptoms
are than the flu.
I'm just saying, like that's what it's looking like. It's looking like COVID's becoming the flu for people.
Is the death rate actually dropping that low?
I don't know. Let's see.
Like if the death rate is at
I haven't heard about it as much.
Yeah, because like the death rate is at the. I think what we will get a better idea of, because like the winter season is like theoretically like the bad season.
Here.
Huh?
I'm saying it's here.
Oh yeah, no, like yeah, exactly. Like we could also look at like previous years too, but I think like if we want to look at like how Delta affected it, I think a more like a better comparison will be like the Omicron versus the flu during the winter, because they'll have the same season currently. Like Omicron is kind of picking up right as it's getting colder. The flu usually picks up right as it's getting colder on a yearly basis. So we'll likely see like the variants, the death rates, and I think more people will make the comparison once those numbers come out. But like until those numbers like fall to the flu like numbers of like sicknesses and deaths, well we're still hearing of like hospitalizations, but at this point I'm not gonna lie, I'm not as focused on it. Like I don't know if like I'm getting the whole picture when I hear like there's hospitalizations throughout America like where hospitals are like being filled to the brim with COVID patients with a new variant.
So,
I'm not sure.
so the death rate did spike. So like the highest the death rate's been was in, let's see, that makes sense. Was like in January. Then it like severely started to go down, probably because of vaccines. And then it's starting to go back up around September. And then now it's on a downtrend right now.
Booster.
But now it's back going up. So that's probably Omicron.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I would say like the boosters probably are helping, like based off of that, if we're looking at the timelines of the death rates, which is actually good enough of a reason for anybody to get the booster.
Because it says, so I'm looking this up, is up to 650,000 people. This is from the World Health Organization.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this is the US or if this is the world though.
We should.
World Health Organization is probably the entire world.
Yeah. What's the number?
But this is a CDC report.
Oh, a CDC. Okay, never mind then.
Yeah, it can't be. It's saying that up to 650,000 deaths annually are associated with respiratory diseases from seasonal influenza, according to new estimates by the United States Centers for Disease Control.
Wait.
So okay. That's for the flu.
So yeah, so that's respiratory. So that's respiratory deaths that are accompanied with the flu. So like if someone dies of a respiratory issue and they have COVID, they'll call that a COVID death.
And now was that 2020?
This report came out in 2017.
Okay,
so now compare that to how many people have died from COVID, and the death rate's going to be way higher.
No,
and like that's it's not.
No.
Wait.
So according to this, total people that have died from COVID in the United States since it started is 800,000.
Okay,
over
and
2 years, 800,000
I'm
people
going
died from
to
COVID.
stop this conversation abruptly.
All
I just typed into Google how many people died from the flu in 2016.
Not directly from the flu, Solomon. That's what I'm telling you. Not directly from the flu.
So
from respiratory complications associated with the flu.
From
respiratory complications associated with the flu. So I'd say that's the flu then.
But it's not. You're not dying from the, like, you could just have like.
So you don't die from COVID either. You die from the respiratory problems
that
so COVID gives you.
Exactly.
So like that's the same thing then.
Wait, so no.
I looked up a report that says 650,000 people died that way. So like you might just have a normal flu that might not kill kids, but if
it is, Brandon, I please need you to like
continue.
Force it. I understand that it's WHO because I'm looking right now, CDC, the overall burden of influenza for the 2016-2017 was an estimated 29 million influenza illnesses, 14 million influenza associated medical visits, 500,000 influenza related.
You said 49 million cases of the flu in 1 year?
29 million illnesses. Yeah.
29 million. Okay. And I'm just saying. So they're saying that there's in the past 2 years there've been 50 million COVID cases.
I'm getting down to it. So 500,000 influenza-related hospitalizations. 500,000 hospitalizations.
They're saying that there's 50 that since 2019 that there have been 50 million COVID cases. That's 25 million per year. That's not as many as there were what you just said for the flu in 1 year.
Okay.
Cases.
Let's not even
talk about deaths. Let's just talk about cases.
Okay, but I haven't even. Okay, so occurrence doesn't match severity.
Doesn't match the what?
The severity. Like the occurrence may be the same.
You're right.
Rate.
Yeah, that's the same with the flu. Is what I'm saying. That's the same with the flu.
Well,
it's the same thing with the flu. That's all I'm saying is that
the
same thing with COVID.
The occurrences.
That's the same thing. But that's the same thing with COVID is that you can get COVID and be asymptomatic. You can get COVID and not be that severe. You can get the flu and be asymptomatic. You could get the flu and it not be that severe.
Yeah, and so what we're saying
is the same thing.
We are in occurrence. In severity, it is not. because you have to look at the death rate.
I just brought it up. If they're counting, I'm just saying, if they count COVID deaths as pulmonary associated deaths,
Brandon,
so it's not just COVID that killed them. It's having a bad respiratory system.
Okay.
On top of having COVID.
38,000 influenza associated deaths. It's 38,000.
Yes, but that's because you have a bad respiratory system
versus over 800,000 for COVID, bro. Like that's a huge difference.
Over 2 years. This is
okay. Divide that by 2. It's still bigger than 38,000.
Divided by 2.
No, it's not. Wait. You said 38,000. What? I just told
38,000 deaths related to the flu.
Influenza associated deaths.
38,000.
So what am I reading then?
This is why we have to. If we read one thing and stand by it, we are not right. We have to check.
No. So I'm looking at the World Health Organization.
Which means you're probably looking at the world data.
No, am I?
I don't know because I'm looking at the U.S.
I'm looking at the United States.
You have not
send me the link you're looking at. Text it to us,
Brandon.
Put it in the chat.
I'm telling you, I'm looking at the.
Put your link in the chat.
I am looking at the U.S. data, and I'm telling you that. I'm asking you to verify your numbers.
Because in the U.S., I'm seeing the same number Solomon's seeing, around 38,000 deaths related to the flu, versus almost 800,000 COVID deaths, which is a huge fucking difference.
That is why severity and occurrence are two different things.
Because people probably don't report the flu. Like if I get the flu, like I'm not going to report it necessarily because there is not a reporting system. Honestly, the rate of flu might actually be higher in occurrence. But because it's not as severe.
Yeah, from what we have heard, it's more transmissible. COVID is more transmissible. Like there are experts that are telling us COVID is more transmissible. We don't need to do the work ourselves to prove that. There are people who are more experienced, more well-knowledge in the statistical databases of these medical count cases. I'm just saying, which is the reason why I say, while you should do your own research, you should still probably, listen to the experts. Just because they will still likely know more about that than us because they spent, I don't know how long, but they're likely doctors. And from my understanding, doctors spend a long time, learning their craft.
Okay, so yeah, I'm on the all right, now I'm on the CDC website where it's like, yeah, so they're saying between 24, this is their estimate for between 2019 and April 4th, 2020. They're estimating between 24,000 and 62,000 deaths, which that's a pretty wide range. Let me look at historical data.
Flu deaths?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's huge. That's a huge range.
That is a huge range. 42 to 60.
I'll just clear this up. I looked it up. That was world data for.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
The respiratory diseases related to the flu. That was world data. Mm-hmm. For a specific year.
Yeah. So now look at the world data for COVID deaths, and it's in the millions.
It's 5 million. It's 5 million. I looked it up.
Yeah.
So severity, occurrence.
Like this shit's crazy, man. Like
it's real.
That's why it's difficult to just say let's do herd immunity and let's just live with it because of how deadly it is. Mm-hmm. Like it'd be one thing if the death rate was the same thing as the flu, nobody would be tripping. It would be okay, we're gonna deal with this. Like,
do you think it is though suspicious that there is such that wide range in potential flu deaths?
Well, I think with the flu, it's mostly because I think it's like that gray area. Like, remember how I said like, did I delete it? I didn't delete it. And so there were 500,000 influenza-related hospitalizations in that year we spoke of. However, there were only 38,000 influenza-associated deaths. I think there's like that gray area. You know how like it's like with COVID too. It's like, do we actually want to tie this with COVID because this person had underlying conditions? Like, do we want to would a healthy person have died from the flu that was this aggressive, or was a lot of the time, like which that range comes from is like certain instances, and I actually shouldn't be speaking to this because I don't know how they're calculating the range, but I know there's gray area.
And then also like at the same time, like the difference between the range, like the cases is in like the tens of millions versus the deaths in the tens of thousands. So like when you look at like the difference in that range really isn't that big of a percentage when you look at the total number.
Because the original strain of the flu has been around for a lot longer.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I understand that. But that's what I'm saying. I'm under the impression personally that COVID is going to become a new flu, but we'll see.
But on a deadlier level, and it's just at what point as the society do we get to a point where we're okay with the amount of deaths that are occurring?
It has to be no, we're not going to be like, we will eventually have to be okay, because no matter what happens, humans will always adapt to the society that they live in, no matter what. But
the metaverse.
Or you can live in the metaverse and stay protected. That's
what I think is going to happen. I think they're going to try to convince people to stay at home.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just feel like it's a little sketchy.
Yeah.
I'm saying, man, invest in the metaverse.
Sure.
No, I think people should invest in the metaverse. I think it's I'm really excited to see what people can do. And like I was saying earlier, the tools people could use in order to make the real world better, even your engineering capabilities within the metaverse.
The only thing that I worry about the metaverse is that we currently live in a capitalistic society, which makes a lot of the beautiful things in the world turn very ugly.
But it's all based on crypto, though.
Sure. Like the thing is, a decentralized system still
means it can be very exploited.
The reason why capitalism is not necessarily the greatest thing in the world is because people will circumvent their moral compass for the obtaining of financial gain.
But what does that have to do with capitalism? That has nothing to do with capitalism.
Well, people will get finessed in the metaverse. That's just long story short. People don't get finessed.
I don't think finessing other people has anything to do with capitalism.
That's all it is. Capitalism is taking.
Not necessarily. I mean, I think you can live within a socialist society and get finessed by somebody.
But it's about exploiting.
It's
about I like Solomon's original definition of kind of like removing your moral compass a bit for the benefit of financial gain is a part of it.
I don't even know if that's what capitalism is. I think that's what corruption is. Now, is America corrupt?
All I'm saying is
people are like,
one is
the
catalyst for two. One is the catalyst for two. That's all I'll say then.
You think capitalism is a catalyst for corruption? No, I don't think so.
I believe what it is I believe it is a catalyst for a power vacuum.
No, people are a catalyst for a power vacuum. People by themselves.
I would say like capitalism is a subcategory of corrupt, like as a result of
because I mean socialism can get corrupt.
It absolutely
communism can get corrupt.
Basic fundamental. Like the fundamentals of capitalism is it's a free market. Like
I don't think it's fundamentally corrupt either to have a free market.
It's not.
If you don't.
But the thing is, all it's done over time is just allowed us to identify more and more ways to exploit people.
How though? If you're selling something to someone and they're ignorant, if their ignorance buys something, it's like stealing from other people is bad.
Like, theoretically, Brandon, why do you think like the news media and the cycles occur the way they do? They're put in a way so we, as like a majority of America, can be essentially blind and dumb consumers for a lot of the products that most of these people push.
So I'm just saying, Solomon, is that if you are aware of that, then you're no longer a victim of it.
Well,
No, that's not true. That's not true. So
It's just not. It's yeah. It's not. I'm still susceptible. I'm still susceptible to advertisements. I'm still susceptible to
and then the people that work workers, they need to feed their families. So like it's either you work for this capitalistic company who's exploiting you, or you let your family starve. Like what is the yes, it is. Like what is their other choice? They just go work for another capitalist company that's going to do the same exact shit. Like look at the take count
But is every company corrupt in your opinion?
No. But yeah, like the good companies require like, or a lot of them require like a certain level of like they want a certain level of like skills that come with it. You know what I'm saying?
What kind of skills?
Like I'm talking about like, so say like you want to work for Apple, like obviously Apple wants the best computer engineers possible to work for their company. There's obviously not everyone in the country has access to a computer engineering degree to where they can go work for Apple. So instead they have to go work for Kellogg's at their factory and get exploited by Kellogg's, or work at Amazon in the warehouses and get exploited because they don't have the necessary skills to work for Apple.
You don't think that because of capitalism, they could find a way to work for Apple, even though they start out in a bad situation? Like you could still.
I mean, there's always a way, but like it's
because there's so many options. Like there's so many people selling things that you can find something affordable for you that you make it work.
Like you can make it work, but the thing is, it is getting harder and harder to make it work. From the times that we have like been alive, like school prices from like 1980 to now have like risen 5 times its original
cost.
The
barrier to entry is huge. Like it's not
like
there's a way.
We work in a culture that really rides on those college degrees. They really do. And I know you can get money other ways. You can get money other ways, but you cannot get money in a more convenient way than the corporate environment.
So take your
that's company. Fine, but I'm just saying, what does that have to do with corruption? Is what I'm saying.
It's
I understand that a lot of these people.
This is a pay to play.
People are corrupt.
This is a pay to play environment, Brandon.
I understand that there's a lot of people that are corrupt, but I think the biggest problem is that the government is corrupt. That there's no one, that the people that are supposed to be policing these people are getting lobbied to turn a blind eye. That is the problem. It's not these companies. It's just that these companies don't have no leash, but they're supposed to. Like, of course, like you're not like there's people who are doing things that are fraudulent, that are corrupt.
But they don't have a leash because
they don't have a leash. Markets are free. They don't have a leash because the markets are free.
Because of capitalism.
Our regulatory bodies have been eroded over time because but it's because our governments have lobbies. We have people who
they need to get rid of that.
Okay.
I agree.
I'm saying,
like who's really gonna get, like even if lobbies are actually removed,
we the people need to make sure that happens. We can vote that into existence.
Okay,
that is the number one thing that needs to happen.
Theoretically,
and then that will solve this whole corrupt. In my opinion,
I want us to hypothetically go through this. Theoretically, the government bans lobbyists.
Yes.
The next year, Amazon gets caught paying a representative via like a third-party escrow account.
Yep.
And what happens? What happens?
You find the shit out of them or seize their assets.
But then that company and everybody that works for that company gets fucked.
Yeah. Amazon and all of its shareholders.
Yeah.
And all the people that work for Amazon.
How many shareholders do you think Amazon has?
A lot. Many.
A lot.
But if they're doing corrupt stuff,
how many politicians do you think
if they're breaking the law?
How many politicians do you think
they deserve to fail?
Amazon? How many voting politicians do you think hold Amazon?
Listen, Solomon, I understand what you're saying. Why politicians won't make this happen, but we the people need to make this happen.
Via what?
That's what I'm saying.
Via what? Huh? Via what means?
Because we vote for the politicians.
Vote for the politicians. Like you have to demand this type of stuff in order to get people in office. in order to put people in
understand
position.
that, but it's just it's after a certain while, like how long
If you
are you gonna
demand
play?
certain things, politicians will change their stance. They'll change their policy. If the people demand certain things, they'll pivot their policies.
But I think at that point it starts then with educating the people, because half of us don't think that way. Half of this country doesn't think that way. Like we always are going to be fighting ourselves just to get a little bit of progress. I mean, and like that change is obviously slow. So I mean, that's what it's going to take. But like, it's
Hold on one second. I'll be right back.
Show. Wow, this was a fantastic conversation.
Yeah,
but
like
yeah.
I see what I see what he's trying to say. It's just it's
Yeah,
it's an uphill battle.
It's not capitalism in nature, but it's wishful thinking in my eyes.
Yeah.
It's wishful thinking to say that, like, hey, we're going to be able to stand up as a people. And honestly, it's probably the inspired feelings that we should have as a collective, to say, hey, we should be able to feel like we can accomplish the unaccomplishable. Like, there are things that we must do to take that first step, because if we have the mindset of, oh, we can't do it, it's a lost cause, we're not even going to be willing to take the first step.
Yeah.
When we take the first step, we see there's no budge, or pushback, we can take the second step, then take the third, and fight that fight when it comes along. I think sometimes we get caught up in going 20 steps down the line and say, it's probably not going to happen, because 20 steps down the line, this is going to happen. So yeah,
man, we got to do something, man. Because if we do what our parents and our parents before that did, and pass it on to the next generation, which I'm assuming I'm just hopping in the conversation. So I'm assuming that's what you're.
We were actually realizing, like, you know what, we should probably stop taking the stance. Like, we're taking an old man stance. Like, we're saying, like, this likely won't happen, and that's not necessarily why we should be saying something.
We can't do that.
I mean, I'm not saying it's.
Go ahead. People are gonna revolt in this country.
Yeah, no, like I was just saying, yeah, it's definitely a very slow process. It's doable, but like it definitely, the problem I see though is well, I mean, I guess with the age of internet, information is more readily available. So like, but you have kids in our same, like, people our age that grew up with parents that thought very differently than our parents, so they're growing up with different values, thinking that, this system, that America is the greatest country in the world and nothing's wrong with it at all.
I think our parents thought that, and that people younger than us understand that America's messed up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I think people younger than us have a way better understanding than we did, and our parents did, and generations older than us, about the actual level of corruption that's been going on in this country. There's so many things that I've learned from the internet in the past 10 years about how corrupt this country really, really is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm saying thank God for the internet, so that we are fully aware of these things, and that we can promote politicians that will try to address these things, try their best to address these things. Fuck Joe Biden, but
fuck Brandon. Or no, not you, Brandon, but you heard that meme.
Oh, go Brandon. Bro, I was so mad.
Yeah.
A DoorDash dude came up. He's like, "Oh man, I got your name on my shirt." I was like, "Okay," like I guess he has like some son named Brandon or something, right? So I look it up. I'm like, "Oh hell no!" My name in this bullshit.
That is fucking hilarious.
Nah, bro. Yeah, I don't like Joe Biden though.
Yeah, no, he went back on his fucking student loan promise. Fuck
yeah.
It was just about getting Trump out, but yeah, next election he's out of here.
He's out of here.
So out of here.
No, you're so.
I think his body only had
man.
one term in him, anyways.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're just like, I don't understand like the sliminess. And people were so mad at Ice Cube for just wanting to talk to Trump. Just be like, yo, let's just at least talk to bro. And they were like, nah, man. He's related to people. I mean, not he's related to people, but his followers are direct ancestors of people who did heinous acts against people of color for hundreds of years.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's just the karma of just that. Like, people are never going to, he might even have something for it, but people are not going to take you seriously, even if you have a change of heart just because of that. built up negative history.
Yeah.
Can't go there.
Bad juju.
Yeah, bad juju, man. Just can't go there. Can't go there with people when they come from that. You know what I'm saying? It sucks. It's like, people might have had a change of heart, might not be that, like might not be on that type of stuff where they're trying to deny opportunities and deny or see somebody as less than human. But I mean, because we have this sort of red and blue perspective on life, two-dimensional perspective on life, at least that's what's proposed to us through media. But hopefully,
that's just media.
Hopefully with the internet, people can start getting
you have more nuance with the internet. Yeah. Like
and that's why I'm glad that the government is cracking down on Facebook, because that is a function of capitalism, is allowing people to stay in their biases for so long because it generates them income, but then that causes school shootings, that causes insurrections, that causes, you know what I'm saying? That causes the Travis Scott incident, when people go too crazy on the internet. You allow people to stay within their little bubble.
100%.
So
100%.
that's what it gotta be about. Government gotta step in on they gotta be more like, I think Elon Musk said it really well in like a presentation he had recently, where government needs to be more of a referee and stop subsidizing industry, because that's what's really allowing corruption to happen.
Yeah, you gotta stop subsidizing industries and start subsidizing people.
Yep.
Like the people they're supposed to fucking serve.
Yep. Exactly.
I mean, the thing is, they're literally serving companies right now, because companies are saying, "Hey, we're people. We're just the richest people." Like like companies are acting like the 1% of people and taking over all the rights that people are supposed to have.
I mean, that's what
all that shit.
That's what the police is. It is about protecting commerce. It's not even about protecting people.
Yeah. We are not valuable anymore.
I mean, yeah.
Like they're actually realizing,
you gotta be creative.
We're starting to be a little bit more valuable now after them shortages and a lot of them waiters across the world. They're starting to realize bodies are valuable, but might be
well, people are making too much money on their phones, man. They're like, why would I want to wait people when I can just drive up to their house and leave the food? I don't want to talk to these people. I'd rather just DoorDash the food and just leave it at their door than have to deal with, he didn't give me the water right when I wanted it. You know what I'm saying? Like, to not have to deal with that, if you can make the same kind of money, just driving around, it's just better options. That's the problem. There's better options. No one wants to get that.
I was gonna say,
deal with people.
For the Chick-fil-A, you know what they did though, right?
Oh, what?
They had somebody pulled up, and on the drive-through was somebody on an iPad. Like there was an iPad, and he was literally FaceTiming someone who was working from home from Chick-fil-A. Taking orders, bro. It was so fucking hilarious.
He was working for Chick-fil-A at home.
No. He was the person taking the video was actually like from the perspective of view of the person pulling up the order. And so he pulls up, turns to his left, and you see an iPad with a girl on it. And she's like, "Hey, welcome to Chick-fil-A. Can I take your order?" And you can definitely tell that she's in a room.
Right. Where is she at though? Is she like in like
a room? She's in her room.
She's in her room.
She's in her room taking his order.
That's crazy. You can work from home working for Chick-fil-A.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes, bro. I'm saying.
Got the robots making the chicken.
Because why would you stand out in the rain?
Why? Bro, why drive?
So why are people mad about these? Like, I don't want to do that job no more when we have an internet. Like, why would
bro, I'm going to Chick-fil-A. Y'all niggas bullshit.
When people can order their food on their phone, why would I do this job, this waiting job?
That's actually hilarious. That is hilarious.
Scan the QR code, please.
Coupon. All right. Well, I think I'm gonna leave it there. So getting a little late on the West Coast time, but y'all have anything y'all want to chop it up about before we head off?
No, I'm chilling.
Good, man.
Yeah, man. This was a good one. I'll catch up with y'all next week. Let's do one more before Christmas.
Got to, man. Got to.
Shall we? All right.
Catch y'all later.
Talk to y'all
Peace.
soon. Peace.